What's up, everybody? If you're in the chat, just give me a heads up so I know that you're in here. And then I'll start switching this over in a couple minutes. I see there's a few people in. I just don't see anyone chatting yet, so I want to make sure that's working. What's up, Rick Bogus? Yogi, what's up, man? Got some Tokyo Megaplex on in the background. Bisky Frisket, what's up, dude? Cool. All right. I'm gonna center myself up a little bit better. There we go. Cool. So I'm gonna wait about 2 minutes, but I'm gonna go over what just happened with 2.6.1 and like the merger of the official build and the experimental build, and I'll show you how that's working. Not just like a write-up, but so you guys can actually see what's happening with lights and stuff. And then just general Q&A. I've been having some fun with subsurface scattering lately, so I might mess around with that a little bit. What's up, Vitus? So, yeah, as always, if you guys have questions, yeah, man, skulls. Leave them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them as I'm going through. But probably the first like 5 or 10 minutes is just going to be reviewing all the new stuff that just came out. Some of it is pretty awesome, stuff we've been asking for a while, like refraction and stuff. I'm going to go over that in this scene, and then I have another one set up for the new area light stuff, which we'll talk about in here. And then also I've got a scene set up for testing out the new denoisers, which they're okay. And then also just really quickly covering what's happening with bump maps too. Yeah, man, you left me a comment the other day, and I sent you a link to the GSG Arnold tutorial. Honestly, if you follow that almost identically, then you're gonna come up with the same thing. It's pretty much the best way to create it. I mean, there's some little things that don't match up, but other than that, it's almost identical. I mean, I like denoising in Neat Video. I've been using Neat Video for probably over a year now, and it's always done a really good job the denoisers in here built in. I know they're still learning, but like optics is just terrible. It's super muddy, or it just doesn't pick up the noise. What is the other one? Altus works. I just don't want to have to pay for it when I've already paid for Neat Video, and Neat Video works really well. So it is what it is. All right, so it's officially 9 o'clock, so why don't we just get started. I've got like a little cheat sheet of notes over here. Let me make sure I turn off the music in the background and get going. So, man, if you haven't seen the new list, there's a ton of stuff coming out. Also, now that 2.6 is out, they're going to start doing experimental builds for 3.0, which is really exciting. So like a complete revamp of stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just the new refraction stuff that's happening and how specular light's being bent. So let me hit play on this. I've got this simple scene set up, and you'll notice that, you know, it just doesn't quite feel realistic. I never really picked up on it until this guy in the Rograph Slack literally this guy, pointed it out. And once you notice it, you can tell that there's a big difference between like the quality of refraction in Redshift and what you're getting in Octane 2. And it's been a big issue. So they finally got it working. And also just like how it was bending HDRIs around the scene, it just never really contoured correctly either. So the way it works now, if you set up a dome light, and I think maybe even area lights, let me see if area lights have it too. Yeah, so lights in general, under your rays, you'll see affected by refraction. And what that generally means is that you are going to get a more physically accurate refraction. So right now you can see this looks okay. And then there's an auto feature, which if I turn that on, you'll notice nothing really changes. Like you can notice in some of the areas, there's a little bit of a shift. But as soon as I go to always, if you look upon the floor right here, and I'll set it to bucket mode too, you can notice there's just like a big shift in like how the caustics are rendered and how just realistic this looks. And I'll push in on it too. And it's just a lot better, a lot smoother looking. It actually bends the HDR lights around the way you're supposed to. So if I come in close and do like a over the top shot, and we'll just do a quick little thing. I just realized I don't have this set up to bucket rendering. There we go. 256. That should help speed it up a little bit. But you can see now, like, this is actually getting bent properly, where before it would like almost have like a hard edge to it. And you'll see too when this comes around that it's a lot nicer feeling, especially like these contours in here. So it's doing a lot better with that. Something else that I don't think was really mentioned in the release notes, but it also affects like dispersion too. So if I turn this up to say like 0.07, I don't need bucket rendering for this, but you know, like these cool rainbow bubbly effects that we get. If I come back into the dome light settings and turn this back to never, like it used to be really strong and overwhelming, even at like general use settings. But now if you do always, it does it correctly. You can see like this cool little, I'm gonna just call it like a corona, almost like this crescent right here. Bends properly and it's not so thick and heavy. So just to show you, like this looks like a hard circle right in the center, and then in here it actually deviates nicely and just has this really nice dispersion there. So it's really great that they've updated this so it refracts light properly and just feels way better. I tried to bring in my Stanford Dragon and it wasn't having it. I don't know if I corrupted my model or something, but if you guys have a Stanford Dragon, that's probably like the best way to test it. But the skull seems to work pretty well. So next thing up I want to show was what they've done with area lights. So we'll come in here. So they've added like barn door effects, which is great. So if you have an area light set up and you start to play with the spread, you'll see that, It gets a lot thinner now and a lot stronger, and you can go all the way down to 0, get these harsh lines at the top and bottom, and you can see the shadow gets really hard too, which is great. So now we can do that. If I spread it back out, it also makes some really cool effects with fog. There is like a little bug if you go all the way down to 0. It doesn't quite push it enough. It's kind of a sampling issue, so they're working on that. But if I come in here, yeah, now you can totally do the UFO thing. It was really hard. So if I turn up this contribution to like 1 and come back in and spread this out just a little bit, you can see what we're talking about. You get like these like UFO beams. Change the color to blue. Maybe I'll dial this back a little bit. It's not so strong. But yeah, now you can really control your beams and get really nice, like Tokyo saying, UFO type beams in here. And if you go down to 0, you can kind of see it adding in there a little bit. I notice if I crank up my samples in volume to like 256 and even like 2048, you get a little bit more in there, but it's not great. If I bring the contribution all the way back up, it's still not great, so that they need to work on it so when it's all the way shut, it actually still contributes. I think once it gets past like 0.1, it stops. Let's see. Yeah, like 0.1, it really starts to get messy, but that's okay. They'll fix it. But still, like, this is really nice to have. You can even see like how strong the light gets right in here and falls off. So super awesome that they did that. One other thing I want to show too, let me go back to the other one. I think it'll be easier to see in here. And I'll pull back a little bit. They updated how bump maps are rendered. So before, as they got further away from the screen, I'm gonna just put default materials on these so you can see. And I have a little bump on here, but boost this up to like 5. 3. I mean, there's been noise in the fog for a while now. I can show that in a little bit. I don't think it's 3D noise. I think it's just like general noise, like fractal or turbulent noise. But so something that was happening with bump maps is it would fall off too early. Like it would just like cut off, say right around here. And if you look, I might have to crank this up to like 50 so you can really see. The bump actually continues and fades off properly now. There's like a sampling issue before, so they fixed that. So now bump maps, as they push off into the background, fall off correctly, which is really awesome. And the last thing I'll show is Denoiser, and then I'll talk about noise and fog too. It's pretty easy to set up. So I've just got like this skull, nice metal material thing set up on it. And let me make sure I still have Denoiser on. Go to 256 in here. So under basic now, under denoise, you'll find there's none, single pass, dual pass, which I think is only for final rendering, and optics. So let's just start with optics. I really think it just doesn't work that great. So you got to do a bucket render for it to work too, because it works as a separate pass. So I'll wait for this to render. It shouldn't take too long. Yeah, it's already going around most of the scene. And once that renders, if you look right down in this area, you'll see it goes to denoise. Did it already do it? Oh, I guess it was fast and already did it. But so if you hit this button here, it shows the noisy before they'd ran the pass and the denoiser. And I hope this is showing up on the stream, but like right in here in this area, I'm just gonna look my stream, see. I guess it kind of shows up. You can see all the noise that's in here. And then if I turn this off, you can see like right in these areas, it kind of smooths it out, but it gets super blotchy right in there. That's pretty, it's okay. I mean, maybe I should just bring this up a little bit further so you guys can really see what's happening. Pause this for a second. So hit play on this, let it render again. It might take a little bit longer because it's bigger. But it's just kind of blotchy and meh, and you know, it could be better. And I think I've only got this set at like 4 and 16 samples. So 4 minimum, 16 max, just so we can get some noise in this. You really don't need to run the denoiser on this. It can clean it up fine normally. So going almost there. Let's see if it actually triggers down here. So I guess it's running the denoiser for optics at the same time. So here's the noisy version. Hopefully this is showing up a little bit better. And then if I turn this off, it just gets really muddy in there and meh. So that's regular optics. I'm gonna pause this, scale it back down a bit, and we'll take a look at Altus. And Altus is better, but you have to pay for it. And I think it's better just to get neat video, so you can use it on footage too. So here's single pass. We'll render it again. And this time you'll definitely see the difference because there's watermarks when it shows up. There's also like all these additional things down here. I don't know what they do. I've never really played with it. Kind of just let it run and see. So let's see. So there we go. So you see all these watermarks. If you pay for it, it'll get rid of that. You just put in your license and it's kind of whatever. But the noise in here is cleaned up way better. It's a little bit blotchy over on this side. And you can see that it takes care of a lot more of it, but it's not that great. Yeah, Chad did do an awesome breakdown of all the denoisers. And he was using the experimental build before it was merged, and Neat Video won hands down, like even against Red Giant and these two built-in denoisers. It's like no competition really. So go check out Chad's video on Grayscale Gorilla. I think it's on YouTube. If not, I think it was a live stream for Twitch too, so it might be on their Twitch channel. But it's really awesome. All right, so 3D noise. Let me go ahead and pause this, and we'll go into this one here. I think this is where we had yeah. So it isn't quite 3D noise, but it is turbulent noise. So if we just add in a Redshift environment, and I'll turn this off here, and we can do material volume, throw it on this right there, and we'll come in and start messing with this. Sorry, we didn't need a volume. We just needed a noise. What's up, Billy? So we'll throw this noise on here, and on the output here, we want volume. You can see already that we've got some noise in there, and it happened pretty fast. So I take this off, regular, I put this on and do volume. It starts to get noisy in there, and we can come in and do turbulent noise, and let's say it's not that complex, maybe like that, kind of bring up the gain in here, maybe the scale comes down a bit. And for this, I'm gonna just set this to 1 to 1 to 1, and now you can see it gets like really dispersed, and we'll do like 0.005. Maybe that's too little, 0.05. There you go. So there is noise now. It's not exactly 3D, so if I rotate around, like it kind of feels 3D, but it's not like true 3D noise like you would expect if you're using like a 3D gradient, but it works, you know, and as you rotate around, it definitely changes. So it does the job. I've used it for a couple jobs now, and it's worked really well. You can animate the offset too, so that way you can see through here, kind of makes it feel like it's moving fog if you do it nice and slow. We can even do like 0.05 in here, make it feel even smaller, maybe bring this up to like 0.25. So you got a lot of options now. You can always control the bias too. Something like that. Yeah, man, going over 2.6.1 features. I've pretty much gone over them now. I don't think there's anything else that really I could talk about. Sorry, I'm just checking a text from my wife. Okay. So what else? Is there anything else that I missed? I think that's it. But yeah, Vitus, this has been out since I think 2.56, 2.55, something like that. It's been out for a while now. But yeah, it's pretty simple to set up as long as you take any shader, throw noise on it. I think even if you mess with like the alphas, that should contribute to that. Maybe not, just the bias, I guess. 2.65 was volume noise. Okay, so it's been out for a little while. All right, so I'm going to go through the chat, see if I missed any questions. Just the condensation one. Honestly, man, I would be following. Oh my gosh, slurring my words. I would be following along with that Arnold tutorial. I don't really know off the top of my head. Like, it would probably just be like a sphere and probably manipulate that a little bit with some deformers. Probably just throw like a taper on here, something like that. Start to create a droplet, and then start with just like a glass, really. So just call this, actually we'll call this water, and throw that on here. Take a look over here, and we'll do water. That's pretty much the start of it, and I'll throw in a dome light, and we'll just use HDRI link for the time being. Be nice and easy. Let's do Pro Studio, maybe something like that, and hook this up. So there's some water. It probably needs some like noise and stuff too. Let me just put on this to always. And what's up? I guess, is it Zhao? Zhao Feng? I'm probably butchering that, but what's up, man? Or person. I shouldn't say man. I shouldn't have like gender bias towards any direction. Just used to that. All right, so probably add like a little bit of roughness in there, and maybe just like a hint of diffusion, maybe a hint of roughness, and what else? Dispersion's already up pretty high. I think I'm gonna bring it down to like 58. I want like a little bit more of that in there. The lower the number, the stronger it's gonna be. So it's, I was at like 60 something before. I think like 35, maybe somewhere in there. That's pretty much what you're gonna do, is just make some water droplets, and then I think we have a can in here somewhere. Is it broadcast? It has the food stuff. I think so. Food, that's ice cream. Boop, dude. There's a pumpkin in Celebration. I didn't know that. I don't know why I ever try to build a pumpkin when there's one in there. Where is the soda can? Prime? No. Studio. Nope. Where is the soda can? Glassware? No. Does anyone know where the soda can is? So I'm not just, packaging, here we go. Can soda, let's do half liter. Is that right? Probably means I'm gonna have to scale this up. Yeah, that's Pretty small. That's all right. So there's that, and we can scale this down, bring this over here. Of course, you'd have to mess with it and start deforming it however you want. But that's search in browser. I should have searched in browser. So this is kind of like the start of getting condensation, and you would have different ones of different shapes, and probably could scatter it using X particles or however you want to scatter it. Let's see what we can do for the deformer in here. Maybe FFD. Try that out and fit to parent, and maybe just pull that up a little, kind of go like that and like this. This is going to have to be a little bit flat when it goes on the can. Move that whole thing kind of like that. It's kind of looking like it, right? And just needs to be a good bit smaller. So that can be drop, we'll just say a 1, and we'll come in here. I hate that. I really wish it would just use whatever nomenclature you want for naming. I get it. And then we can have that there. This can be like a smaller one. And maybe this one is like a bit longer down here. Something like that. I wish you could use a loop on there. That's disappointing that you can't. Pull this down like so, deform it out, and maybe these ones come in and kind of flatten down a little bit like so. See that in there. And then these up here. Come down like that. Something like that, right? I mean, this first one looks really big and unnatural now that I see it next to all this other stuff. So come in, kind of scale that down like so, push that one in too. This would probably be a little bit more elongated in the front there. Kind of mess with that there. Ooh, that's a good idea, man. I was just thinking of like custom doing this, but yeah, displacement modifier. And yeah, I probably should have done that. I can probably still do that, huh? And if you want to get really cool with it, you could get like some displacement, or not displacement map, like a wet map or vertex map. Yeah, man. Well, I'm not going to do that right now, putting drops all over this. But that's how you would get started. I think, what's his name? Where is it in here? Robert, if you're still watching, that's probably the best way to do it. Just like Dan Marino was saying, start off making like a couple drops, but then you could also have a displacement modifier in here as well, and use 2 different seeds and a cloner and blend them together and start scattering them all across here. I mean, for giggles, I mean, I've got nothing else to do, so maybe I should just do that. What are you thinking? Just like a general noise with like really small height to it? Like 0.05, something like that. No, probably 0.5. Has to have some variation to it. Do that in there too. Cool. Let's go ahead and get a cloner going. Cloner 1, cloner 2, and we'll do the can. I guess we want can main shape. Oh, didn't really like that when I put that in there. Why don't you like that? Why are you freaking out, Redshift? Or Cinema, whatever's freaking out. Oh. No, sort of freaking out. What's happening? Cloner does not like main can shape. Why? How many? There shouldn't be that many lines. There. Oh, okay. Does not like that. So I'm gonna have to just use our handy dandy knife tool, Billy, and my favorite tool. Did I clone? I am not paying attention. I did. All right, we'll do surface. There we go. Cool. No need for the knife tool. But if anyone gets confused about what the knife tool is or how it works, Billy and I can help you out. So, I'm gonna do selection that, and yeah, I guess I'll just put a plane effector on there and hide that. Is there a way to just delete? Like if I just do that and hit delete, it deletes all of them, right? Yeah. I wish I could just select it and then say, you know, kill it. It's kind of sucks that you have to put it into something. Cool. And I don't want to move the position, just do that. Good enough. All right, so there we go. We've got some condensation all over this. Let's see how this thing looks with fancy label soda. Cool. We're getting there. We can up this to however, and we can probably put like a random on here. Don't want to push apart, but maybe scale. And something like that, a little bit of depth with it too. Guess really we could do this, but not in the Z. But okay, yeah, I guess we'll just have to do Y. Something like that. Yeah, but if I do a MoGraph selection, is there a way to just like hit delete? Like I just tried. I like how I said I couldn't do this, and then after like, I don't know how long I said, like, or I guess it's been about like 20 minutes now since I said that. I should just follow the Arnold tutorial, but this really wasn't that bad to set up. It's not great. It probably needs some massaging, but you know, 10 minutes of thinking through this got us pretty far. And let's bring up the exposure. Whoa, no, too much exposure. And we'll do the correct thing of adding in our own extra lights and pushing this a little bit further. Bring this over here, something like that. Doot. Cool. And then all you would have to do is just make your own stuff. Have you rendered XP4 explosions? I have. It doesn't work directly in the render view. You have to bake it out first, but I can go over that. That's pretty straightforward. Kill this. Yeah, I am not very good with it. I think I saw that actually. That's the one that what's his face made for you. I'm forgetting his name. Isn't like Billy Bob, something. Let me see if I downloaded that. I thought I did. Date modified. Where he made that scene for you. Where is it? There it is. Thanks, Billy. I'll use this. Desktop, save it, open it up. Don't freak out because I had that open. Open this, please. No? Okay, I'll just do it from the desktop. You ever have that happen where you download something and it just doesn't open it, even if you hit to open it? It does it to me all the time. All right, so you have everything already set up. Cool, man. Man, that looks good. Sweet. All right, so I guess you've got a cache in here. Internal memory. Is the cache already in here? Like you've already baked the cache internally? Damn, dude. You're ready. Oh, but no, you know what? You can't do it internally. I need to do an external file. So first, we'll just leave that there as xparticles. You want to do an OpenVDB, and we will I guess we'll just save it to my desktop. Here, we'll call this Billy Flames. Cool. And oh, sure, overwrite. This is just pretty dang fast. Hopefully it keeps going. All right, so that was it. Let's go ahead and check and make sure we've got that in Billy Flames, and it should have, yeah, so here's all the VDB information. So just like that, you want to cache it out to a VDB. And you're going to bring it in as a Redshift volume. And we'll go like this. And desktop. Billy Flames. Like that. Yes, we can copy it to the location that doesn't actually exist. That's fine. So you're going to go to animation, and we'll just do what? Loop. Cool. Detect frames, start frame, and why? That's not right. Let me see if that, well, it's kind of coming in. Is that, no, it's not. Why is that not coming in properly? Okay, try this one more time. No, do not do that. Detect frames. There we go. I guess it didn't copy it properly. And we'll just do points for our preview, and maximum points we'll say like 1,000. Hopefully that, oh, whoa, it reversed it when I did the VDB. That's crazy. I was not expecting that. No, I have I have a volume object here, and I need to flip it around. And so we'll have to make a volume material. Let me see. Is this, were you, oh, somebody was using cycles. All right, so inside here we've got fuel and heat, so that will help us drive some of this. So we probably want to use heat in here for emission. And for our ramp, I think I've got a flame. Yeah, we can do that for a flame. And I believe just doing that should get us pretty close. I think. Playing with fire. Okay, we'll try fuel. I might have to cache it out again with some more information. I shouldn't need any lighting, I don't think. Just do a quick dome light and turn off the background. Right. All right, I might have to cache this out again. Turn this all back on. Turn that off. Interesting too. Let me see. Is it now? Is this able to pick up Redshift volume? No, it just only picks it up from the volume. Okay, that's fine. So for this, I'm going to turn off that there. I think there. Display fuel. I was surprised. Yeah, okay. Surprised it's fuel and not heat. I'll try that one more time. So we got that, and then fuel's in there. Cool. Scale this up. Make sure I'm not missing anything with this. This. Nope. Okay. So something's not coming out properly. Cache. Occlusion. EFX. Okay. I mean, it seems like it has everything we need. Curl, modify gravity, cool, cool. Like that should be all we need. I don't think it's a bucket versus progressive thing. I'm pretty certain you can preview without it. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure that's showing up. All right. I might have to recache this. Curl simulation, cool. Just for giggles, I'm gonna turn color on. I don't think that should matter. And UVW, turn that on too, just for the hell of it. Track, initial state, cool. I think that's it. Got all that in there. Got all that in there. OpenVDB, exactly what I want. All right, let's build this cache again. Overwrite. Okay. No. Let's do a quick detect frames. Cool. Make sure it's, yeah, it's still going along with that the way it should. So this is really stupid, but I guess it could be because I don't have any contribution to it. No, that's not doing anything either. All right, let's start over. I'm gonna kill that there. Let's make a new volume. Put it on that. Okay, good. So there's that. Like, it will show up with scatter. But fuel should be driving this. All right, we're getting somewhere. If I turn that off. Why do I need it in both scatter and in here? That doesn't make sense. That's kind of weird. All right, that's okay. We're just gonna do that. Why am I getting a whole box around it? That doesn't make sense either. I really shouldn't need bucket rendering on. I do remember when I was doing this before, somebody said you have to put black at the bottom. There we go. All right, now we're getting somewhere. That looks like crap. Then again, I didn't really up the resolution when doing this, when I baked it out, so maybe that's doing something. See, I have that all the way down to 0 now. I don't think I'm supposed to have that. Why? I don't remember needing that at all for this. But we'll just do it. We'll just put it in there for whatever reason it wants it. So that's getting kind of close. I think the emission that I saw had like blue in it though, right? So there's that. So it's getting kind of close. It kind of looks a little cartoony. You might have to play with your remapping a little bit to get it exactly where you want. I don't think you have to play with your scatter at all. Yeah, that's just fine. I don't think you need to play with your absorption either, right? Yeah. So that makes it super hot. Just bring that right back down. Something like that. I'm just going to call this Liam Fire. Is there a flame? Oh, there is a flame with blue. But oh, we're starting to get that white back. Is there not actually a black in there? All right, we're gonna have to make this sucker all the way black, huh? That's kind of cool looking. Got some like nitrous kind of flame coming through, NOS. So I think that something that will help this out is under Explosia, Esplasisa. I don't know how to say it correctly. Resolution, doing like 256 and just gonna hit pause on this and cache it out again. That will give you a lot more detail in there. I'm hoping that helps out. It might take a little bit longer to render this cache because of the extra detail, but I think it will be worth it. We'll try again. Yeah, these last couple frames are going to be a little bit longer. And I can already see the shift in the difference here with those. It's a little better. Let's come in and look at this. All right, that's not too bad. Kind of in here, it gets a little weird. Slack notifications keep popping up. It's also weird that the timing's off a little bit. Like, here's where the particles show, but the actual imagery is back there. That's kind of strange to me, but whatever. Start frame 0. There we go. That's part of the reason it needs to be frame 0. All right, let's see if we can tighten up this look a little bit better. 0.05, something like that. It's kind of cool looking, except it still looks a bit crappy for detail. Yeah, remapping's gonna help with this, I think. So that's starting to get like a little blocky. That's definitely not helping. 1. Something like that, kinda. That still looks super blocky though, doesn't it? Like, all right, let's pause this again. Let's do another render of this, and maybe we'll try like 128 slices. Voxel size is 2. Probably gonna kill my machine doing that, but let's do it again. Going down to, oh yeah, upping that time a good bit. So, ooh, I hope it doesn't take a minute. If it's gonna start taking a minute a frame, I'm gonna have to pull it back in. Oh, that's, okay, sorry, time remaining. That's not too bad. So what essentially I'm doing right now is adding smaller voxels, which will give higher detail, hopefully, because you can see in here, it gets kind of like cubic looking, like quasi Picasso. So hopefully that will help with that. And I also added more slices in, which I hope will help too. It kind of is the same idea of like slicing the grid up a little bit more and finer. Man, 4 minutes. I don't know that I'm going to wait that long for this. Keep going. Come on, you can do it. Seems like it's getting a little heavy. Five minutes. All right, I'm going to hit cancel on this. Hopefully it will actually let me cancel. Not do its like X particles thing where it doesn't let you do anything until the cache is done. The other thing I would say too, Billy, I thought I had it enabled and I don't see it coming in the details, but your velocity information, that way you can get your motion blur correct and things like that. Just out of curiosity, since we already did these first couple frames, let's see what kind of detail we can get in here. Oh yeah, that's already looking a lot better with just a couple frames rendered. You can just see so much more detail in there. So Billy, when you're rendering this out, I'd say really push. It might take like 10 minutes a frame just because of how Xparticles is with caching, but I think if you up your voxel, or sorry, not up it, but turn down your voxel size to like 1, that should really help. And then also your slices and resolution, upping those. I might try and put this back at 2 and recache this just to see if that helps at all. Right. Yeah, 2 seems to be good, but I don't know that we got enough detail. We'll keep trying to add more slices if we need to. Because even with 1 centimeter where it was at before, still got kind of yeah, see, like going back up to 2 really just it just kills that detail in there. It gets so gritty. Let me try like 1024. Resolution, we'll try. Oh man, I may have just killed it. It's not like in 1024. Okay, there we go. It's going. Kind of. Keeps blinking. You don't want me to do anything, do you, Xparticles? God, I wish this had like an escape key function like Houdini where I could just say stop with the Slices' viewport. Really? I thought Slices controlled all of it. I've been doing this wrong. All right, Billy, take it easy, man, as this crashes anyway. Boop. Just do a quick end on here. So we'll go back in. Boo. Oh, Sage, you're in here, man? Why haven't you said anything? What's going on, dude? If I missed any other questions. C4D really did die in a fire. Oh, because you just got here. Well, I feel special now. I'm going to reopen this back up just for giggles. There it is. You can ask me something for sure, dude. What's up? So what are these notifications? Anything from Burograph now? Keep that at 32. I'm going to send this back up to 1024, something like that. Maybe even 2048. Well, I made 1024 is the highest. It is kind of Vitus. Like Cycles handles Xparticles the best because Cycles 4D is put out by Insidium. So it just works intuitively together. Octane, you could argue you would use because it's really fast for like just single frame type stuff. If you want to get some like look dev done. That said, if you once you start going down that path of building inside one engine and you need to start going into production, then you get down a rabbit hole of, okay, I built this in Octane and now they actually signed off on it, so is Octane going to be able to handle this? And where things that Octane can't handle and crash, and or you just need more power, Redshift usually can handle, or you can send it out to a render farm. So there's things like that. Redshift, a lot of people like because it's similar to V-Ray in some ways, so they like it for ArcViz. What else? I'd say Arnold is just awesome. I would say always use Arnold if you want and you have the money to. Arnold's by far my favorite render. I think it looks the best too out of everything. I mean, it's CPU, but if you optimize it well, then it works great. For Sage, what's the least favorite thing about Redshift? Depends on what application I'm using it in. So I would say for stuff like this, like what Billy's going through right now and trying to play with X particles, just sucks that like they can't integrate better with X particles. And I know it's kind of up to Insidium opening up their SDK a little bit, but it just like that sucks. And I can hop into Houdini and just get it to work. Hey Chris, we were just talking about that like a few minutes ago. I can show you how to set that up. It takes 2 seconds. But if you go back in the stream, what's up Blair? If you go back in the stream to like around the first 15 minutes or so, I talk about doing volume. So in Cinema 4D, the least favorite thing, I would say integration with X particles. That kind of sucks. As fast paced as they are about putting out new versions, because we get them like every week to every couple weeks, a lot of times it breaks stuff and just for like no reason, and it seems to happen in Cinema 4D more than other versions of it too. So there's that. What else? The fact that the shader graph is built in Espresso really is terrible. What else? Yeah, man, it's been around for like 3 months or so, Chris. Like, yeah, it's been around since, I think, what did Billy say, 2.5.65. So it's been there. No, when did you talk to him about it? Because they like it's been in the forums for like over a year, and then they released it earlier this year, maybe even like back in December. It's been out for a while. Let me see if I still have it open. Sage, I hope that answers your question. I know that was kind of broad and rambly. Come on, Cinema. A Slack channel, like the Redshift Slack channel, it seems like things are not communicated best there, but like the forum that's been around since forever, I know that topic's been there for a while, and so I'll just show it again really quick. You just throw a volume in, and then you can create a material, go in, and you can just kill this there, do a noise, and hook that up to volume. We'll throw this on that. We'll create an area light. And play on that. And contribution. Probably don't need that much. You can see there's noise in there. And then come in here and just adjust the bias a little bit. And we'll put this down like 0.5. get that really big. Maybe even complexity come down, amplitude come down a bit with that, frequency scale, something like that. So yeah, it's been in there. And then you can change around to like turbulence or cell, however you want to do it, and animate it. So if you want it to move around like fog, go like that. A fake fog. Like how? I mean, this is actually like volumetrics in here. Yeah, I mean, this has really been out for. I mean, we're at 2.6.1, but the last build before they merged 2.5 and 2.6 together was 2.7 something, 2.75, I think. So at least like, let's see, what is that? At least 10 builds. Will it? Yeah, it will animate if you do the offset in here. You can see right in here. So if I set it to 0 and then go up to say 72, and we'll put this at 5. Oh, I didn't put a keyframe. 0. Play through it. You can see. Why did I? Oh, I didn't set a keyframe again. Sorry, I've been working on Houdini a lot lately, and I keep forgetting to do stuff in here. I don't know about native C4 denoise. I haven't tried that, but I imagine so. It's still the same deal where it has to bake, but sure. Let's try like 512 by 512, do 16, and a noise. And let's do 5, like so. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I've never tried it. Why is this freaking out? Come on. Electric. Fire. There we go. And let's try 50%, something like that. And contrast. So it's kind of in there. I'd have to play with it to get the scale right and everything, but it looks like it's kind of affecting it. But I mean, native noise is only really built into Arnold at the moment. Like it's here, but it still has to convert it to a texture first. So not too far. So kind of controls it a little bit. It's not as good as using just like Redshift noise. You know what? I don't have gamma override on either. I don't know if that's going to matter, but like -8, see if it's messing with the MIP at all. Try 1024 by 1024. I mean, it kind of plays with it a little bit. I don't think it's doing a great job, but normal noise, sure. Sage, I think Billy had to go. He's got stuff he's got to work on. But yeah, for stuff like native C4 denoise, the way that I last heard on like I think a GDC talk or something is the reason why native noise is so hard is because native noise is part of like CPU architecture. So that's why like Arnold can do it. It can because it's a CPU renderer, so it's already tapping into it. And the reason why Octane and Redshift and Cycles, I guess Cycles could technically do it because it's a hybrid, but the reason why they don't do it is because of that issue there. So, yeah, I mean, so Sage, to go back to your question, I mean, the one thing that I would say I would love is just like a little bit more of that post stuff that Octane gets, like bloom and whatever, and you can fake it a little bit, but yeah, you're welcome, Chris. But it'd be nice to kind of have it right in there. I don't know how much that would affect anything. I think maybe just like some better manual writing too. Like if I go through this stuff and I look at it and I'm like, I know what some of this does because I've messed around with it enough now. But it's not very clear what some of it is either. I do love subsurface scattering. That's awesome. What else? See if there's anything that, I mean, Denoise seems to be pretty awesome in Octane 4 so far. So if they can get that worked out in here, but it's not that great. What else? I'm just flipping through all this to see if there's anything that stirs me up. Sun and Sky rig is just like normal Sun and Sky rig. So, okay, I know one. Ambient occlusion. I wish they explained that a little bit more. Like, cool, I can make an RSAO, but it doesn't quite work how you would expect. So I'm more interested in what you thought was crappy about it. Like Octane, we all wanted to just be less fucking crashy. Yeah, I would say stability wise, it's pretty dang good. It takes a lot to make it crash. I usually crash Cinema before I crash Redshift. That also, like, talking about that, let me, all right, here we go. It's the chat, or the stream is changing. I'm going to open up Houdini really quickly and just show something, like just stability wise, and close this out too. No, don't need that. There isn't much in terms of crashiness. Where are you, Houdini? Okay, that's fine. There we go. Which is really great, and it can just handle a ton of stuff. So I'm gonna make geo and we'll just make, sure, we'll do this. Mr. Rubber Guy, and let's do, you guys can see the new mops stuff. I'll do this really quick, and we'll do I'll do a noise fall off, sure. All right, and it may, if I crash Houdini, it's because I'm trying out mops and it's an alpha right now, but it should work, hopefully. Cool. Make a simple table in Houdini. It might take about 20 minutes. No, it won't take that long to make a table. It's just, let's see, 1 cube, or I guess 2 cubes would be best. So I need an instancer, and I probably should have done this first. Want that, and we'll take a cube or a box. I don't know that I saw what you made, Sage. I'll have to go check it out. All right, so we got this instancer, and I'm going to scale this down. I was going to put it all over that crazy rubber toy, but let's keep this fast. All right, so let's say our size is 50 by 50 by 50. All right. It's just catching up. I may have gone overboard with doing 50 by 50 by 50. Especially because I'm streaming. I can see my camera flickering. Come on. Catch up. Yeah, mops. You're killing me, mops. There we go. All right, let's try 25 by 25. No, stop cooking. Stop cooking. Let me just do this. TikTok for what? I'm not trying to make a table. Come on. So MOPS is a new motion operations tool that they're trying to push out. There we go. To make it really easy to do stuff like you can in Cinema. There we go. That's looking good. All right, so we've got all these right in here. And the point I want to make is, besides my computer like really hating life right now, let me just turn this off for a second and do like 10. You really gonna try and cook that even though I turned the brain off? All right, whatever. Fixed number, that should help too. Do 10 by 10 by 10. The point I want to make is that inside here, it's a lot more stable. So if I make a material, connect that, and we'll just go down here and make a shop, and we'll do RS material, put that in there, and I probably need a light source. Cool. All right, this should work. Should be good enough at least. I didn't set up a camera. Go me. All right, camera. Let me just move this out, about. And this light, just move this back some so it's not in the camera view. Go back to that. All right, so we've got this like grid array going on, and just to show you how stable Redshift is inside another program, let's say I want to do like 100, and it may freak out because of MOPS, but right there, see, it once it cooked the data, it was instant inside of Redshift over here. And the only thing that took a minute was just this over in here. And so that's just kind of crazy to me. Like inside Cinema, when you update geometry, it goes through this whole thing sometimes of like trying to update the geometry in the scene, and it just seems to work immediately. So I wouldn't say that's something that's like terrible about Redshift in Cinema. It's just something that I've noticed now that I've been using Houdini a lot more, is that it's crazy that it's almost an instant geometry update inside the render view for Houdini, but not for Cinema. I never would have picked up on it before had I not used Houdini. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, that the update process between the render view and the viewport is not always as fast as you would expect. I don't know what else you're using, Sage, but just keep that in mind. So a table. All right, let me make a table for you. Simple table box. Here you go. And this box is going to be a little bit short in there. We'll just come and line this up like so. Maybe even shorter. Cool. And what else? We need legs, so I guess another box, and this will just be top, leg. Maybe this will be 0.25 by 0.25. And copy 2 points, like so. Copy. No, we want to copy that. There. Right. You're welcome, Sage. And I don't have any normals. Probably gonna need that. No. All right. I'll just do it normal. So if you want this, then you can do like 0.25, and then you can have another box here, and we'll say this is 1 and 0.25 by 0.25, and transform, merge, boom, and like that. This is down and dirty and not the most procedural way to do this, but it'll get the job done. So leg 1, so there, leg 2, put this in, and right there, leg 3, and leg 4. Like so. So totally not see a bud summoned by the girlfriend, I bet. So this is not the most procedural way to make a table inside of Houdini. You would want to probably have it attached to points in the corner, and as the table grows, then the legs would move with it and things like that. But you can make a table pretty quick, and it makes it super easy to adjust things if you want. So maybe you want to have one table leg that comes up through the top there, things like that. So that, I mean, that is pretty simple, easy way to make a table. Yeah. All right, so it is now 10:20 almost. I'm gonna wrap it up, and especially since I'm starting to talk about Houdini instead of Cinema, Sage got me going there. As always, guys, if you want me to talk about anything, if you want a tutorial on anything, leave me comments. I've been asked a few times now for the condensation thing, and I did it earlier on in this stream, but maybe I'll make an official tutorial on it. Honestly, if you guys are looking for condensation stuff, go check out Chad Ashley's Arnold tutorial. It translates really well into Redshift. What else? So I'm going to try and have some more guests on. Nate Rodriguez Vera was going to join tonight, but he's been booked freelancing, so his schedule's been really wonky. We have to postpone that. If there's any guests that you guys would like me to talk to, let me know. I'm going to try and cut this back to about every other week. As you've kind of noticed, I haven't been doing these as frequently. So it'll probably be like 1 week as general Q&A and tutorial, and another week as a guest, if I can get a guest on. So let me know what you guys think about that. And I think the Brograph guys said they're going to alternate two, maybe every other week they'll do like an Octane one, or maybe like a Cycles one, or Arnold, or something else. But this has been going almost a year now, so I really appreciate everybody that's been watching and supporting me and buying materials and stuff too. But it's not that much stuff to go through, Chris. It makes it super procedural too. But yeah, it's just I'm kind of running out of stuff now. Like I've gone through most of everything you can do in Redshift, unless I start making like some actual tutorials on how to do whatever, model a can and then put condensation on it and stuff like that. But there's already a lot of information out there on it. So thanks, Blair. Hey, Nick, what's up, man? Yeah, I don't think I'm on a year yet, but I'm getting pretty dang close. I think it'll be a year in August, if I remember. So yeah, I'm almost to 2,000 subscribers. You guys have been awesome. So I don't want to stop doing this at all, but I'm just kind of running out of things to talk about too, like they said on the podcast this week. So if you have any topics that you want me to cover, any guests you want me to talk to, I'm going to try and start reaching out to you guys for that information, because it's starting to dwindle with topics to talk about. Anyway, you can find me anywhere as 531. That's FIVE numeral 31. And 8 nodes for a table. That's like, what do you want? If you were doing that in Cinema, okay, here we go. We're gonna battle this now. It's the same deal, and also I don't have to do it that way. It's just to make it procedural. So let's say 0.25 again, and this can be leg 1, and we'll say 1 and 0.25 by 0.25. I'm just going to set up a merge again to merge it all together. I was trying to close out of here, Chris, but challenged me to this thing. It's going to happen. So you don't have to set up those transform nodes. That's just how you keep things as procedural as possible inside of Houdini, but you can do it like this. And then you want another leg, and you move it here, and another leg, like that, and move it there. You gotta just buckle that one in and put this there. So leg number 4, boom. So there's 4 legs. It's crappy looking, but if you want to do the same thing in Cinema, and you can totally you can totally box model in C4D, or sorry, in Redshift, but same deal. It's, you got to come in and wow, why my mouse is being weird. You got to come in and adjust this, and then you want another cube for a leg. You got to come in and say 50 by 50 and move it around. Oh, come on, tablet, don't be weird. Touch off. Yeah, that's if you're like actually doing modeling and not keeping it procedural, but you can do that too with this. So here, polygon mesh, and come in. Let me just open this up. Boom, 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 like so, and let me just get these numbers here. 35, 33, 29. And 27, like so. All right, there you go, sir, like that. Boom, and it's still procedural. And this is all one mesh. And I can go back and adjust this, and look at that. And if I want to go in and do bevel, you've got me going now, Chris. Yeah, see, so a cloner would totally reduce and keep it procedural. Nor flat edges. We'll just go like that. Get a nice bevel on there. And then, you know what, maybe you want to extrude even more. You know what you'd have to do in Cinema? IKEA would be proud. This is totally an IKEA table. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that table there. It's the world's largest table. And maybe you want to have a weird fifth leg in here. So let's go back and see what this fifth leg is. So 31. I'm going to come in here just like that and go 31. Look at that. We've got a weird fifth leg in here, completely procedural, didn't have to do anything, and like that. Maybe you want legs on top, right in the middle. Put 22 in there too. 22's in there too. Look at that. I was just trying to be quick, like you wanted, but there's other ways. Let's say we want the leg to come out. It's going to go that way. I was going to say 34 next, but that's not going to work. So pretty awesome. Turn your bevels on. Bevels really quick. You can come up here and say how many subdivisions you want. I'll just do something small like that. Oh man, I was trying to wrap up the stream, and there we go. I had to make an IKEA table Schlong thing, right? That's what this table would be called. It'd be like the Schlonguber. So yeah, if you guys have any topics that you guys want me to cover, or you want to challenge me to things in the chat like Chris has, I will gladly accept your challenges, and also see about getting guests on and covering topics you guys want me to cover. So that's it for this week. I'm definitely going to close it out now, and I'm probably gonna have to close the chat so Chris doesn't challenge me to something else. But as always, you can find me 531. That's FIVE numeral 31. And I'm glad I got you laughing, Blair. You can find me by 531 anywhere online, and come find me in the Brograph Slack too, brograph.com/Slack. I'm also on Blair Walker's Pro Video Podcast Slack. You guys should check that out, and his podcast as well. He's a good dude. What else? NodeFest, I'm in there too. I'm kind of all over the place. So if you ever are somewhere in the world and you want to talk with me, no matter where you are, if you're in New Zealand, Australia area, or United States, I'm probably in a Slack that you're into. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll talk to you soon.